Right, what a great segment. Innocent Mwatsikesimbe in the house, software developer and futurist. Guys, thank you so much for coming. And of course, Reuel Leach and Neldia, welcome from Bit by Bit. As always, my very, very special guests and dear friends. They've taught me how to trade. And, as an artist, they've brought me out of the darkness, not having to rely solely on the government and people's whims of whether I earn or make money or not. This is a way that frees you from... Well, it's a way that you can secure your art, still be a productive, creative person, and also make a good living with your music or your painting or whatever sphere of creativity you're in. Guys, listen to me. This is the future. Things have changed. You need to change. Like any form of music, if you want to become a classical musician and stay classic, that's great. But if you want to be cutting edge and moving forwards with your art, then you've come to the right place. Welcome.
Welcome, Innocent. We met at a coffee shop in the area of Cape Town, and we had this interesting conversation. We've been in the blockchain and Bitcoin business for a long time, but I found something very interesting. And Innocent is from Zimbabwe, and he's living in Cape Town in South Africa, and some of the stuff he's involved in is very fascinating, and the topic of today is how artists and musicians will benefit from blockchain and the exciting new future of social media. Innocent, your first question. How, in your opinion, is the blockchain changing the world?
I think blockchain is introducing a lot more transparency to how things are done. Introducing more integrity, and it's opening up more economic opportunities for people.
How did you get fascinated or excited about this industry that you got yourself plugged into it?
I discovered blockchain when I discovered Bitcoin in 2014, 2015, somewhere there. And I've always wanted to be in this space ever since I discovered it, ever since I went down the rabbit hole and looked into how it works and the principles that underpin the technology. And I started writing software in this space.
So, how did you get fascinated or excited about this industry in the first place?
I got fascinated by blockchain when I discovered Bitcoin in 2014, 2015 there. And ever since I went down the rabbit hole, looking into how this technology works and the potential it has to change how people live and how people use money and transfer value, I got interested in being a part of that. And so when I decided to start doing software development to code, I also decided to just focus solely on that aspect of software development, to code in blockchain and cryptocurrency related projects.
And you got yourself involved in the Hive community. Now, when I asked you the question about the Hive community, you actually mentioned that the STEAM community or the social media aspect has changed. Tell us a little bit about your involvement and what the social media, how the social media is actually going to change the world.
Yeah, so I got involved with Hive back when it was still Steam. I discovered it in 2016, just shortly after it was created. And the concept struck me. At first I was attracted to how people can monetize their attention, because there were tokens there on the system when it was still Steam, and people would get paid to post on the system. And that struck me as a unique way to look at this. And when I started coding, I also started looking into how I can make things on Steam back when it was Steam. And now it's Hive. After what happened, the community hard forked and created Hive after something after an attempted money attack on the protocol. So Hive is a decentralized social media blockchain. It allows people to create accounts that you actually own, and it stores your text on the blockchain. And what that means is that only I can add content to my account. And so I own the keys, therefore I own the account. And it's censorship resistant in the fact that you can't just close my account in the same way that you can't stop a person from transferring Bitcoin from one wallet to another. You can't stop someone from saying something they want to say on the blockchain.
And so when we talk about tokens in social media, this is pretty much the same as NFTs. It's just another word. Can you explain to us about these tokens and how people can get rewarded with these tokens?
So the tokens on Hive, because Hive is a native token, but tokens that can be built around the Hive system can enable people to create attention economies and essentially be rewarded in digital currencies that are also tied to those Hive accounts. And so artists or content creators can create a token, and they can use that token to give people access to their attention economy, because they create content and they have an audience and their attention is worth something. People are willing to pay to get the attention of their audience. They can also use those tokens to give all sorts of access to their content, like exclusive content. That's where NFTs might come in, to say this is a unique token that you can use to access a certain part of what I'm creating, or you can use this token to, book a one-on-one question and answer session with me live, like a live stream or something. So essentially, what I see Hive blockchain enabling is allowing content creators to determine their own value and own it, because there are no intermediaries. When you create tokens, you are the actual owner of the token, and whatever happens within that ecosystem and the attention economy, there are no intermediaries. And I think it gives artists more control over their own value, their own economic value, and it opens up more avenues for monetization.
Thank you. So we've actually gone into the next question about how do artists and musicians benefit from social media. So what you're saying is that artists and musicians can sell their content online. And how does that work?
So when artists are selling their content, when we say they're selling their content online and they're leveraging blockchain for that, they can do it in a number of ways. There are artists right now who are using NFTs on blockchains like Ethereum to sell unique tokens that represent a unique proof of ownership for a certain piece of art, and that is valuable and people are buying those tokens. That's just one way that artists can monetize their creations. They can also monetize their creations through leveraging the attention economy side of things. You can have tokens that give people access to them or their audience.
Thank you. And I'm very interested to know what is Web 3.0, and then I'm going to ask you a question about the platforms that are associated and positioned for that right after. So just tell us, why is Web 3.0 different, and who created it and for what reason?
I'd say Web 3.0 the idea of Web 3.0 came about as a result of the flaws in Web 2.0. Web 2.0 and the internet as we see it now is that it's centralized. And so people don't really own their accounts. For example, you can have like how Donald Trump was just booted off Twitter and social media as a whole. It shows that you don't really own the accounts. They're owned by the companies who are creating these platforms. What Web 3.0 brings, I think the most valuable thing that it actually brings is ownership, decentralization, decentralized ownership. The blockchain, Web 3.0 will utilize decentralized systems like blockchains. And what the most interesting aspect of this is how with ownership comes censorship resistance as well. So you can't stop someone from posting what they want. You can like filter and block and mute or whatever, but you can't actually stop them from saying what they want to say. So
Innocent, which platforms are positioned for Web 3.0? In other words, who is ready for this Web 3.0?
one of the core challenges that you get when you're trying to design a decentralized system for social media, I think, is security of governance. And I think that Hive is well positioned for that right now. The distribution is good, and it's also not. The people who are behind it is community driven, mostly. And I just think it has a lot of features that are needed in this Web 3.0 movement. I am not aware of any other social media blockchains that exist that can support a Web 3.0 app. For example, if someone wanted to make an app right now that was, designed around Web 3.0, in order to have accounts and to store text and speech or whatever, Hive is like the most suitable place for that right now, in my knowledge.
Right, so this is an interesting topic on its own, because what we're actually talking about is that we have a centralized web, which Microsoft basically started. And the problem with this is if there's a new channel like BitTube, for instance, which is a decentralized, you can publish anything on BitTube with virtually no censorship, is whoever the people are that are hosting or running the domain can actually shut it down. So we are moving towards an independent, decentralized internet, and that's where you come into the picture, and that's where we get to the next question: is tell us about the attention economy and tokenization. What, in simple language, does that mean?
The attention economy is the monetary value of people's attention. And right now we see manifestations of the attention economy on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and their whole market caps, all their revenue models are centered around the attention economy. They make a lot of money from ads, and they use people's attention and their content and the creators and their audience to create that economy, and they sell that attention, and that's how they generate revenue and profit. So the attention economy does exist currently, but I'd also say it's centralized. And so where tokenization comes in is that when you couple tokens with a decentralized social media blockchain environment, you essentially give people the right to censorship resistance, not just on what they say, but on how value is transferred. And so attention tokens will enable people, the creators, the content creators, the artists, to make themselves a market cap. You create a token that's yours, and you also decide, how people can use that token to interact with your attention economy, and that's how you monetize your work.
Thank you. And then the last question, which is actually the most exciting question, I left the best for last, is what projects are you busy with at the moment that you believe will change the future? The subject came up in our conversation recently where you said you were busy with a very, very exciting project, and tell us about it.
So I am working on a side chain. It's called Hive Attention Tokens, and it's going to work alongside the Hive blockchain. So in essence, it will allow people with Hive accounts, whether you're a content creator or a business or whatever, it will allow you to create tokens. And these tokens will be attention tokens, meaning that the primary use for these tokens is to create attention economies and allow people to transfer value within those attention economies. So, for example, you make videos and you create a token and you say, this token can give you space on my channel, or it can, give you, I have this token and I'm selling it, and if you buy this token, I can have an interview with you or something like that. And so what the sidechain would do is that it will allow anyone to create a token anywhere. It's also decentralized, as a sidechain is also like a blockchain, and it's using a consensus protocol called the delegated proof of stake, which is the same as Hive is using. And so it's also censorship resistance by design, and it's decentralized as well. So no one will really be in control. No one person will be in control of those tokens. And so you can rest assured that if you create a token and it becomes valuable and it's got a high market cap and people want that token because of what they can get from your attention economy, it's secure. It's also got the same censorship resistance properties, and yeah.
Thank you, Innocent. This was a very interesting interview. And what's interesting about this, there's a lot of stuff that you probably have never heard of before, but you will be hearing about it in the future. I remember in '93 I heard about mobile phones, and I was one of the first to grab this, where a lot of people took a while to get involved in this. And in the near future, we will see the world has changed. It has forced us to change through lockdowns, and while the lockdowns have happened, there's developers that have been working behind the scenes looking to make life easier for us to make money online. How can you make money online? Well, you're welcome to contact us at bitbybit.co.za. We've got a website, bitbybit.co.za. Thank you so much, Innocent, and we're going to probably be talking in the near future and seeing how the world is changing. It's spinning faster and faster.
Right, good day everybody, and welcome to the 3F's Finances, Freedom, and I'll let the other F. No, it's about financial freedom, and it's about educating and helping us grow and secure financial freedom for our futures. And particularly, this program is aimed at helping our people right here in Africa, but of course, the same principles do apply globally because this is a global phenomenon. Our very special guest today, as always, Reuel Leach, from Bit by Bit Trading is in the house with, of course, the lovely Naldia. It's wonderful to have them again. This is the third segment of an exciting series of shows for you, us showing you how to help yourself. Of course, the disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is financial education. So we're helping you help yourself. I call it the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of you are feeling despondent and unsure of where to go and how to operate, but we are now showing you the future. And right now, we've been very fortunate to feature Mwatsikesimbe, who's our very special guest today, software developer and futurist, in my opinion. He's predicting the way that we're going to be able to, first of all, secure copyright in the 3.0 launch, and also working within a new decentralized environment, which will free us and help us move together positively in the future. So guys and girls, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Don't forget Bit by Bit. You can reach them on bitbybit.co.za. I'll put the details down at the bottom of the video. And please join the movement forwards, join the movement upwards, and just keep the faith. Right, what a great segment. Innocent Mwatsikesimbe in the house, software developer and futurist. Guys, thank you so much for coming. And of course, Reuel Leach and Naldia, welcome from Bit by Bit. As always, my very, very special guests and dear friends. They've taught me how to trade, and as an artist, they've brought me out of the darkness, not having to rely solely on the government and people's whims of whether I earn or make money or not. This is a way that frees you from, well, it's a way that you can secure your art, still be a productive, creative person, and also make a good living with your music or your painting, or whatever sphere of creativity you're in. Guys, listen to me. This is the future. Things have changed. You need to change. Like any form of music, if you want to become a classical musician and stay classic, that's great. But if you want to be cutting edge and moving forwards with your art, then you've come to the right place. Welcome.